I've always been interested in power, and I do feel like a theme of my works is group dynamics, and I think that maybe comes from being in a large family. I'm always concerned about being part of the group, but I'm also really resisting any sort of conforming at the same time. I started dancing pretty late. I was about 16, and I got accepted into a conservatory at 17. So when I started dancing, I was in class with people who had a lot of training in their bodies, and I did not, but I worked really hard. And while I was training, I really fell in love with composition. It was the one class I felt that my lack of training didn't really matter. I felt like I could really delve into my curiosities, and I was on an even playing field with everybody else. So the title Late Bloomer, for me, I identify as a late bloomer in every way. But I also find that the expression can often feel like someone that's just not on the same track as everybody else, that didn't quite peak at the same time as everybody else, or isn't quite living the same experience as everybody else. And I think that we all have that at some point in our lives, just feeling a little bit like an outlier, and that everybody else is on the same track. I've been particularly interested in the power of belonging and the ways that we show up for each other. So some of the different conversations we've been having have been around belonging versus fitting in, social pressure, being a bystander, being an ally. What are the ways that we protect each other? What are the ways that we fail each other? The way that I've been playing with that dynamic is to set up something that is clearly a group dynamic, maybe a unison phrase or something, and seeing what happens if one person falls away. Does the group continue? Does the group stop? Does someone stop? Maybe not the whole group. Like, what happens in that moment?
My name is Juan Duarte, and I'm a dancer. Late Bloomer talks so much about intimacy and being personal and being in that space that is not black or white. It's like a little bit of a gray area. It feels also very like conversational. We're here and we're not. We're present and we're not. And we're coming to the space and we're not. It has this sense of like urgency and yet caring for each other and being there for each other. Working with Hélène is quite magical. She always gives us space to play and be ourselves in the room, which is really important to me. It's been honestly really special and like very like emotional.
We started with some material and some phrase work, and Hélène is very clear in the intention of material or task, and then as we continue through the process, the piece starts to coalesce and get even clearer. Sometimes things shift, but yeah, it's organic, very clear process with lots of really refined research. I think at this point in my life and my career that I am finding myself in new situations more often than not, new roles in other work environments, new roles in relationships, and I think the research and the experience of group dynamic, individual dynamic, definitely finds its way outside. I find myself noticing other people a lot more also, and how I'm relating to them, and how I can choose how I want to react in a situation, and that's very empowering to feel that I have the choice.
I am Melanie George. I am the dramaturg for Late Bloomer, which is Hélène Simoneau Dance's latest work in progress. As a dramaturg, I'm really just a thought partner in helping the artists get to the finish line, making the truest version of the thing that they're trying to make. One of the things I always find intriguing about Helene's work is she comes with these themes, and it's different from like making a narrative. She's not telling stories, but she has these ideas, and it's always very fascinating for me to see the way that they actually manifest physically. I'm really intrigued. I think texturally, she's doing some things that I haven't seen her do in previous works that I've been involved with. I think sonically it's also really different.
The conversations we've been having have been about what it feels like to be welcomed into a space as the person that you are, and how powerful that feels, and how powerful we are in our communities when we can be in communication with each other, when we check in with each other. You know, we talked about like the harsher sides of it in public spaces and being a bystander, acting or not acting. So these are all things that have sort of been swirling in the space, and then I find a lot of power in dancing large and being bold with my steps. And in this piece, I'm also starting to discover that I'm quite interested in hearing the sounds of the dancers' feet on the ground, and it goes against all of my training to say, like, be loud, like let your heel hit the ground, and don't worry about being pretty, because that's not what this is about. A lot of really fun ideas come up by accident. And the dancers I invite in to work with me are all people that I know are collaborative, that they are capable, they're interested. That's super important to me. They want to work in this kind of way. And they're also influencing each other.